What's up, guys? Your favorite neighborhood Spider-Man. Not friendly. No, I'm kidding. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man has been released for Marvel's Avengers, and the character score I'll give him overall is maybe like a 9 out of 10. A few things that I'm like, could have been different, but it is what it is. You know, he's not a story-driven character. He's just an integrated character, I guess you can say that. But without further ado, this build is going to show you how to maximize the might for melee and proficiency for your melee. And you're going to pretty much be constantly using your takedowns and heroics. So this is what the stats will look like if you get close to the gear build. And you'll see the ultimate recharge is probably the best thing that you'll get out of all this. And there's some resilience armor there, which will make sense because that gives us support heroic, which is another important part of this build. So here we go. So for this piece, the melee gear, you want something with very high might and resilience. The actual element doesn't matter. Anything that helps Wrecking Ball is a plus. And then these side pieces are if I just need to change up while I'm playing, if I just want a little bit more health. This one's kind of important. So it has might, proficiency, and if you get something with intensity, even better. But the main point of this one is that range attacks deal cryo damage because his webs are actually pretty efficient. You know, they actually web enemies while you're shooting them, and you can also freeze them. So it slows down a lot of enemies so people can kind of gather themselves a bit, especially in the raid. This helps. So this is a very, very important gear piece. I have a couple of other ones if you guys want to look at that. Maybe for like a bit more defensive route in some instances, invulnerability. This one is a really, really good piece. Precision and might, and it gives me that resilience boost for my ultimate charge. When critically injured, which this like almost always happens with this build, you will be granted an invulnerability buff, which is a 20% chance. And the suppress resistance, you don't have to have that, but it helps because Spider-Man can, you know, swing around everywhere. And perfect dodge triggers a stun explosion. If you find this gear piece, that's great. You could always substitute that as long as you get something that gives you an invulnerability buff when you're critically injured. You'll be winning. And then some defensive pieces if things get sideways. This one here is something with might and proficiency. Again, intensity is a bonus, but as long as you get something with your ultimate heroic charge up and something that says willpower burst, you'll be good. And as always, the defensive pieces just in case things get sideways. And for the artifacts, I got a double might. The perks, I'd say if you find something that gives you better light melee damage or ultimate charge, go for it. And proficiency ×3, anything close to 100 you want to get on there. And then keep this as an emergency backup, precision when you need to fight more ranged. And the perks for this are there, but they're okay. The major artifact is the bonus part of this thing here. Let me see. So yeah, this gives you more critical chance, and then this gives you the might. So I normally use this one, just because it helps enemies get webbed faster. Alright, so for the skills, the primary is obviously the basic stuff, which I believe mid next year they may be adding to the bottom area. So this skill set is focused on all attack and melee. Just a support ability will give us health boost and it will give us a chance to drop heroic orbs. That's really it as far as support. Everything else gives us more attack. So it's 2 here, third one, second one, 2, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1.